Program. Do you remember way back when we showed you how George Soros was pumping money into Petrobras? That's the Brazilian oil company. But then he announced, I sold my spooky dude shares of Petrobras, and he was out. So it was totally cool. Everybody could relax. There's nothing to see here, people. When President Obama indicated that he was helping Petrobras secure loans. Then he approved a permit for the Brazilian oil company so they could store some of its oil in the Gulf of Mexico, which we can't do, while at the same time stopping American companies from doing that very thing with a moratorium that has destroyed at least 19,000 jobs. Remember all that? Then, do you remember when President Obama went to Brazil when we started bombing Libya? He was like, I gotta go kick the soccer ball in Brazil. Remember that? That's when the president congratulated the country on its recent oil discoveries, saying that we want to be Brazil's best customer. And I'm thinking, no, we don't. We want to sell to Brazil, not buy from Brazil. But remember, Soros was D-O-N-E, done. I'm done with Petrobras. Remember? Petro who? I don't even know what you're talking. Here's the latest headline from Forbes. Soros builds on Petrobras, the holdings in the first quarter. So wait a minute, he sold it when we exposed it, then the president did it, and then he bought back in. Wow, I thought he was all done with that. Huh. Now he only owns 1.1 million shares of the company. What is to look at here? I had nothing to do with it. I'm sure you didn't. It's not connected in any way, shape, or form at all to the administration's continued support of the Brazilian oil company that you're a big, huge investor in. No. And no way connected to the expanding of the offshore deepwater drilling stuff. No. Stop it. You are a crazy Tea Partier. That's what you are. Get out of here, knucklehead. Hello, America. Good to have you here. I want you to mark your calendars and get ready to gather around your radio and television sets like the good old days. Because you're going to hear the voice of our president tomorrow. He is going to grace America with his words. Tomorrow, very important speech. It is his historic speech. That's why he's booked it for 11:40 a.m. Eastern Time. President Obama is going to address the nation on the historic moment for opportunity that we have in the Middle East. Oh, be still my heart. He's not going to talk about that Arab Spring, is he? He's going to briefly touch on the Israeli-Palestinian peace talks. But then the focus, according to the spokesman, Jay Carney, will be this.
An opportunity for us to explain to the world what our values are and the values and the principles that we bring to the region as we decide what policies this administration, this country should pursue to support that change.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear this because I don't even know what our values and principles are in the Middle East. I have no idea. I can't wait to hear them. Do you know what our values and principles are anymore? Do you? Because I do know the president is going to announce debt cancellation, which I was very excited to hear because I thought, oh, thank goodness somebody's going to cancel our debt. Whew. And then I realized, no. We're canceling their debt, which means we just eat it in the end. And he's also going to be reprogramming the financial aid packages to the region. Yeah, at first that might sound good too, but then you realize it's Barack Obama, and so what is he doing? He's going out to King Abdullah. Yesterday, he pledged $1 billion, your tax dollars, to Jordan. I don't have that, do you? Part of that package involves us sending them 50,000 metric tons of wheat. That is a nice gesture. I mean, it would be completely insane for a country to do that, if it had just crashed through the debt ceiling and borrowing everything from China. I mean, we got nothing on us, and let's say, I don't know, let's just say there was like a 500-year size flood that was happening on hundreds of miles of Well, let's call it the Mississippi River, destroying hundreds of thousands of acres, causing about $2 billion in crop damage alone, costing billions in lost transportation delays. And, of course, we have the whole food shortage scare anyway. It'd be crazy if any of that stuff was happening, to send all that wheat over to Jordan, you know, to feed them, especially if they hate us. Good thing that's not happening, huh? Another thing that makes no sense, according to some reports, Obama will oppose the UN's resolution that would recognize Palestinian statehood. Now, I'll go on this one here, because Obama has indicated clearly his support for that two-state solution, so maybe I'm misunderstanding.
Last year, I pledged my best efforts to support the goal of two states.
Two states.
Israel and Palestine.
This
time we should reach for what's best within ourselves.
Yes.
If we do. When we come back here next year, we can have an agreement that will lead to a new member of the United Nations, an independent, sovereign state of Palestine,
there it is,
living in peace with Israel.
There it is. That would be September. That'd be 9/11 at the UN. Sounds pretty clear. Why the change here? I mean, other than, we've got to force this president to do what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't have anything to do with the fact that he's having this speech tomorrow, with the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu asked to come and speak before Congress. I wonder, did the president know he was going to speak before or after Benjamin Netanyahu asked to speak? I wonder. That's a big political game, isn't it? Yeah. Well, Benjamin Netanyahu's got to be excited, because if his trip goes anything like last time, Obama's going to skip the photo ops and bail on dinner, and, you know, Benjamin Netanyahu will be going, my tumbly is a little grumbly right now. Where's the president? I don't know. But it'll give Prime Minister Netanyahu a chance to hang out with great dignitaries like, I don't know, Jay Carney, you know, or maybe even this guy. I don't even know who that guy is, but he's at the White House. If he's lucky, that guy could have dinner with you, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Or if you're really fortunate, and I don't know if we can do this, because he's usually tied up with the president giving advice and sage wisdom. But what do you think? We could set up a meeting between you and Fareed Zakaria. I'm telling you, Benjamin Netanyahu, we can get it done. Unless he's busy. Well, see, that would be crazy. Because if Fareed was meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu, then Benjamin Netanyahu, you know, would ask him for his advice, and Fareed would then have to go on CNN and say, hey, I'm being asked the advice and my sage wisdom by the Prime Minister of Israel. So I have no credibility talking at all about Israel or anything like that, because then what would happen? See, you would have no credibility, because he would have been meeting with him over and over and over again, getting advice on certain things. That's not happening with the president, is it, in Fareed? No, that's right, it's not. Would Obama have blown off the Chinese president like he did Benjamin Netanyahu, you know, for a pickup game or whatever he left for? Sometimes actions speak louder than words, and in this case, and in every case with the president, words don't even need to be spoken, because his actions say it all. But before we rush into this whole Arab Spring thing, which, don't get me wrong, Arab Spring is like Irish Spring, except a little more musky. I'm telling you, somebody should start selling that. Before we rush into this whole Arab Spring thing that does sound good, we should do a little history, you know, history and right and wrong. I want to do a little test here. We're going to play a game, okay, a chalkboard game. You tell me, I'm going to give you a phrase, and you tell me who said it. Was it A, a radical Muslim cleric currently living today and part of this Arab Spring, or Adolf Hitler, the guy we all hate and think was a monster? You tell me. The Jews are the most miserly of all people and the most protective of their lives, yet they devote their lives to their money, to their cause. I would say, what do you say, Hitler? Oh, yes, miserly Jews. No, part of the Arab Spring. Okay, how about this one? Never has a state been founded on peaceful economic means, but always exclusively by the instincts and preservation of the species, regardless whether these are found in the province of heroic virtue or the cunning craftiness. The one results in Aryan states based on work and culture, the other in Jewish colonies of parasites. Well, he says Aryan, which is Persian or Farsi for Iran. But I'm going to go with Hitler. Yeah, I got one. Let's hear that. I'd like to say the only thing I hope for is that as my life approaches its end, I have an opportunity to shoot the enemies, the Jews. That's a trick one, because you've seen him say that. Yes, Mr. Arab Spring himself. Kill the Jewish Zionists, every last one of them. This Jewish contamination will not subside. This poisoning of the nation will not end. Not until the carrier himself, the Jew, has been banished from our midst. Could be either of them, couldn't it? Oh my gosh, I really thought it was Hitler. Wrong again. There's no place for you among us, and you have no future among the nations of the world. You are headed towards annihilation. Hitler, right? No, no. No, just a crazy leader of Hamas, which is nothing for you to worry about. They are not anything for you to worry about. Nothing. Nope. Don't worry. It's an Arab Spring. There's going to be freedom. There's going to be economic growth. It's going to be great for all of us. Probably not so great for the Jews. But let me show you this. Those boards over there, that was Hitler's rhetoric before the mass graves started. The clerics today are no better. I think some of them are worse. And Hitler was the biggest monster of all time. Now let's take a look at another kind of rhetoric today, shall we? This last part that I just showed you Hitler and those who are part of this Arab Spring are one and the same. It is the same old hatred. Wait until you see next week when we show you more of this. But I want to show you today, present day. I want to show you present day America, because there's a second part of this. There's the second part of this argument. That's just the ugly rhetoric, get the Jews. But there's a second part, and that second part is always compassion. Sure, you can be an evil monster, but if you're an evil monster, then everyone will know. No, you can't do that. You have to be a compassionate evil monster. So you can kill a bunch of people before anybody says, hey, wait a minute, I think he's killing a bunch of people. The compassion argument. That's a very important part. It was in Germany. Hitler started the T4 euthanasia program for the physically or mentally disabled, the emotionally distraught, the elderly people. Oh, we're just doing what they coined mercy killings out of compassion. Oh, gee, Mr. Angry Hitler, is it really about compassion? I'm going to give you the compassion argument. And remember this. First, they came for the Jews, and I said nothing. Well, who do they come for next? Well, remember, they're the little Satan. We're the great Satan. You take care of the little Satan first, and you kind of try it out, right? You know what I mean? See if you can fool the great Satan. Well, you saw the rhetoric of the past. It's the same. Well, what is the main complaint now against Israel? The one that all the decent people, not the monsters, the decent, the compassionate people are making. They stole this land. They're occupiers. They're just, all these are good, just decent people that are just trying, that's all this is. They just, okay, sure, they cut through the fence and went underneath the fence and they wouldn't stop and everything, but they're just good, decent people with compassion. That argument kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? What's the argument on our southern border right now? Well, they're occupiers. They stole the land from Mexico. And they're just good, decent people that are here, and I just... You think those might be related? No. No, and I'm a hate monger for even saying that. I want to show you what's happening here in America today. I want to show you how these two things are connected. And I want to show you, because it's amazing, if you know about history, if you've actually read history, you can see what the people said back then. And this is from the New York Times. Hitler explains himself. Oh, does he, the New York Times? I'll see if there's any parallels to today next.